One of the most forgotten and underrated canceled cars of the last 10 years is definitely Jay Kirby Gremlin with Weapon here. He was going to be released in early 2017 in the London Chase series just before Cars 3 came in and kind of rained on Mattel's plans for that spring mainline. They knew they were going to have to fit everything in a matter of a few months before they started producing stuff for Cars 3, but they bit off more than they could chew, resulting in the second biggest batch of cancellations just behind exactly the same situation, but between Cars 1 and Cars 2 in early 2011. Now, Jay Kirby Gremlin here kind of gets swept under the rug because other cars canceled during this time overshadow him a little bit, like Miguel Camino with Flames, Shoot to the Roki with Flames, and even though those two are also just variants, they get so much more publicity than Jay Kirby Gremlin. And then you have all the new characters that were going to be released, like Kevin O'Braken, Christina Garcia, Amara Revsk, and the list goes on and on. But today, I want to give some attention, rightfully so, to Jay Kirby with his little gun right there. He's proud of it, he's smiling, he's happy about it. He actually seemed to be kind of the leader because as Mater's giving his emotional speech, and let's just dive in. There he is there at the intersection in London. Mater's giving his emotional speech about how he feels the same as them, lemons this, lemons that, and Jay Kirby goes, yeah, but it's worth a shot. And then he unfurls his gun just before Red absolutely splashes him over a little fence. Can't believe I remember that scene so well, but that's pretty much exactly how it played out. And that's it for Jay Kirby Gremlin for the rest of the time. But yeah, I always loved his Detroit accent. I think he's from Detroit, but yeah, he's got a pretty cool voice, whoever does the voice for him. And it was that point in 2017 when Mattel was giving kind of second chances to a lot of these lemons in the same exact series. Vladimir Trunkov here got his variant of Vladimir Trunkov with car boot, which has become extremely rare. It's like a $100 car right there. Tubbs Pacer had already gotten his variant in the paint spray here. And Victor Hugo, unfortunately, never got a variant. But he's got Alexander Hugo with Party Hat, who's kind of a derivative character in and of that. But there's a lot to dive in here. How they changed the color of Jay Kirby Gremlin in a very Holley Shiftwell-esque twist, going from one shade of purple to a different, more of a burgundy now. And I think it is more accurate. He never looked this purple to me, and it's almost like they were drafting upon Don Crumlin, who's a whole different shade of purple. But this guy preceded Jay Kirby by like a year, and then they realized, yeah, that's not really accurate. And so when they were going to put him out again in 2017, they made the color a lot better looking. At least in my opinion, I think this is more accurate. I also love the expression. This is one of the best expressions Mattel has ever done, and yet, yeah, not really done because he got canceled. I love how the mouth is off center here because that's exactly how he looks in the movie when he's kind of doing his yeah, but it's worth a shot. Just kind of showing the two brain, half and half sentiment that Jay Kirby gives in that moment. Like, he understands what Mater's saying, but he just is like, what else do I have to lose? I just, screw it. Just gonna try and fight it out anyways. And yeah, so he's kind of speaking out of both sides of his mouth, and so I really do like that. You don't see that all that often. And yeah, it just goes really nicely with the eyes here versus this kind of mean grimace that he never really has in the movie at all. I mean, maybe in London in the VIP box when they're all watching the events unfold. I don't know. I just feel like this expression embodies the character a lot better, so I was happy to see that. When he, again, he was canceled, so it sucks. It's hard to speak about, Mattel's merit and, what they did for this guy when they never actually put him out on the store shelves. Now, this is a completed version of him. I mean, it's a prototype, but it is pretty much complete, and it is great. Let's get in here to some more detailing. Gremlin X, so that little text logo was added in the yellow hockey stripe there, which was previously not present. We'll get to the gun here in a little bit because obviously that's the main focal point of this guy. He still has the Gremlin text behind the hockey stripe. You have the roof rack. That's a little bit of a lighter gray. And yeah, major color differences here. Went from kind of like a goldish back bumper area to a silver and gray. Fine with that. Don't really know which is accurate. Don't ever get a good look at the backside of Jay Kirby in the movie. But his license plate, WREKD, wrecked. AMC logo there for his manufacturer. And then some other text logo there. Not really sure what that says. Let's see if we can get a better look at it here. It's like 5-liter V something, V6, V8, I don't know. Something along those lines. Taillights, trunk emblem there. Really cool. I always love the silver window trim that the Gremlins got here. The nicer ones, that is. Which actually, I think Jay Kirby's the only one that got this trim. Maybe some of the black ones would have gotten it if they ever did some of those. But yeah, the silver trim is really nice. And it's something that the original does not have in this little triangular window there. It's just black. So that got upgraded to silver. The front bumper here is a little more silvery as well. It's a little longer, so you can see it protrudes back much further than on the original. So, I mean, that automatically tells you this is a different model. The metal comes all the way down there, whereas here, it just comes down to the top of the bumper. It doesn't dip below and behind it. So yeah, they changed up the model of Gremlin for Jay Kirby Gremlin with weapon here. And actually, while we're on the topic of that, something very nerdy. Let's see here. Okay, so Tyler Gremlin had the mouth plate, so it's really not comparable. Let's see about Stefan Gremsky here. Yeah, he's got the metal that dips below and behind the bumper. And same thing with Toga. Interesting. So Jay Kirby Gremlin with weapon was kind of his own unique model. Just living on his own little island. So now let's talk about the gun. The weapon, as Mattel loves to call it. Mattel has to dance around issues like that and scary words. That's why this series is called London Chase and not London Fight. No one's really chasing anyone anywhere. It's a big old brawl, right? But they don't want to use the word fight. So I've pulled some of the relevant characters who were also released with similar weapons. And Acer definitely has the most applicable resemblance here. It's almost the exact same gun, just a couple differences, and obviously the paint is different. Jay Kirby's, and again, this might be because it's a prototype, but I would be inclined to believe this is how it would have released if it got released. This is how it would have looked if it got released, I should have said. But either way, Acer's got some more green components here, but you still have the gold magazine clip there. And again, you can see a couple differences, but a couple similarities as well. How they hook under the car is a little different. This is hooked more of like a platform. This one more of like a hook. Now this was Acer with cart, so they released this guy as a deluxe, and again, dancing around the fact that they put a big old machine gun on the side of him because they're like, oh yeah, this is Acer with cart. That's what we're focusing on here, not the fact that we gave him a big old automatic weapon. I could get demonetized for saying all this stuff, but it's true. Good stuff, good stuff. Now, Grem, if you remember, he also got released with a weapon. They called him Grem with weapon. Now, his is more of a missile launcher, rocket launcher type of situation, so his looks quite a bit different, but obviously still very relevant to what we're talking about today, both being Gremlins, although Grem's got the older model with the metal that dips down and behind the bumper. And his weapon's on the opposite side of Jay Kirby. Cool, cool, cool. Who else got a weapon? Finn McMissile, one of the good guys, needs one too, right? Now his is very different, right? It's the pop-out weapon. This is a very forlorn, underrated release as well. But yeah, not quite as cool looking because of the big gray plastic components, but yeah. This expression is so cool still. You got the headlight turning into a missile. Cars 2 gave us some fun stuff. It really is a shame they don't do much of it anymore. They, have released Grem and Acer in 2025, Tubbs, Pacer, and Vladimir in 2023. That's great. But give us more of this stuff. I don't ever foresee them uncanceling Jay Kirby. I mean, they do tend to uncancel about one car per year. I just don't ever see it be Jay Kirby Gremlin. I could see it being Transberry Juice Crew Chief, or I can honestly see them doing Sequoia before they do Jay Kirby Gremlin here with Weapon. 2017 was an odd time, and unfortunately it resulted in a lot of cancellations, a lot of botches, a lot of fumblages. Queen with Ariel is another really cool one that was going to come out. That one never got any physical manifestation though. Who else? You had some semi-cabs, Mood Springs and Shifty Drug semi-cabs, but no one cares really about those because they all got the full hauler releases in 2010. Nikki B was canceled in 2017, and another old timer as well that was unnamed, the blue one. You guys know who I'm talking about. The big white SUV cameraman was canceled in 2017. It's crazy how much they canned that year. I think Roman Dunes was supposed to get re-released, the No Stall Crew Chief. So yeah, unfortunate, but here we are. I'm lucky to have the opportunity to show this to you guys and have it in my collection. He was available on eBay from China in, early 2017, maybe even late 2016. They were all kind of available from about a handful of sellers, had this, Amera Reps, and some of the other ones that I'm talking about as well. And they were very reasonable. I think this guy was in the $20 to $30 range, because to them and to everybody at that time, it was just like, oh, got a car early. Yay, if you want it early, you got to pay about triple the price, right? 4 times, 5 times the price to get it early. Or you could wait a few months and find it in stores. Little did we know, he ended up getting canceled. So paying 5 times the amount of retail, pretty amazing deal, considering now he goes for about 100 times the price of retail. Yeah, probably about a $500 car you're looking at here. But the prices with these are all very fluid, because it's all based on the demand at the time and who's willing to shell out that kind of cash in the community. As there's not always somebody who is, but sometimes, some person comes around and it's like, I really am interested in the canceled cars, and they're willing to shell out that kind of dough. By the way, I wanted to point out the Gremlin text on the hood that is way clearer now. And then other times they're like, no one's really there. The demand just isn't really there for it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this installment of Canceled Car Tuesday. I don't even think I mentioned it was Canceled Car Tuesday, but it's a Tuesday, and this is a canceled car. And also, very fun stuff coming in the future for Cars 2, guys. I have not forgotten about this movie. I really like this movie still. It's provided a lot of positive, powerful fodder in terms of the Cars diecast world, like these black gremlins that Mattel never did, and black Pacers that Mattel never did. So I will be reviewing cool customs from Cars 2 in the coming months and years. Thank you. What the hell else do I have to say? Appreciate your support. I will see you guys soon for another video. Bye now.